So here is our 2019 RAV4. It has roughly 20,000 miles on it now, and did a break-in oil change on it when it was new, around between 500 and 1,000 miles. Been changing oil on it every roughly 3,500 to 5,000 miles, or 6 months, because of the driving conditions, and it does not use a drop of engine oil. So if you have a new vehicle and you have the ability to do that break-in oil change. I know they say it's not necessary with new motors, but if you plan on keeping the vehicle long term, I think it's well worth it for the longevity of the machine, just getting things that are in the engine from assembly. No, you don't have to, but if you're going to keep it and drive it till the wheels fall off, I sure would. This car I drove for 4 years. I passed it on to my oldest daughter. I have 3 daughters, so this car is going to be, I do plan on driving it till the wheels fall off. It served me very well. I had 0 issues with it, absolutely 0. So I'm really happy with the RAV4. I've done the same thing on this 4Runner. Changed oil at around 600 miles just to get any debris out of the engine. I'll be reviewing this vehicle later, but I wanted to get some more miles on it first. So here's the other RAV getting ready for its oil change. I think it's got about 800 miles on it or so, and I'm using a lift today, but I have a video where I did an oil change on the RAV, and I just used ramps to show that you can use ramps. It worked great. I've done more oil changes with ramps than I have lifts by far, so nothing wrong with using ramps. I think there's some times where I was even able to do a change on a RAV4, oil change on a RAV4 without ramps, because it's high enough. It's difficult, but it's possible. You just have to kind of squeeze under there. But I was just thinking, most of us do, oil changes because we want the vehicle to last as long as possible. A RAV4 is, in my opinion, a very quality vehicle for the money. I think it's really hard to beat, and Toyota quality. We just know that if you maintain this car, it's going to last. So why wouldn't you want to change the lifeblood of the engine to keep it clean in there? I've had a lot of different vehicles, and Toyotas are really well made. They hold up. A lot of problems that happen to Toyotas many times are the result of improper maintenance. So if you maintain this engine, it'll last a very long time. I don't think it's unheard of for this car to go 300,000+ miles without really any big issues if you maintain it. So, and then knock on wood, every vehicle that I've been diligent about changing oil with, I've never had an internal engine problem, and that goes for this. You can see I have a motorcycle over here that I'm working on. Same thing with these. Even if you run them reasonably hard, if you take care of the oil, keep the engine oil clean, they just don't seem to have issues. So change that oil. These motors, they're great motors. The tolerances are tight. Toyota recommends longer oil change intervals, and you may get away with that. But there have been people that have reported issues with that. The rings in these can get, if the oil starts to break down, can get carbonized into the piston, and then it won't seal well against the cylinder, even though it's the engine isn't worn out per se. So even though these motors are really well made, they do need clean oil. The variable valve timing and different things that these different motors have, it's important to keep the engine oil clean. And we don't want there's little oil passages in there where the oil circulates through. You don't want that getting clogged. There's an oil pickup in the bottom of the motor. If those things get sludged up, then you can destroy a motor. Even though the motor isn't worn out, you've just neglected it. So change your oil. Easy to do. Again, I'll link my video in the description to change oil on a RAV4. It's so easy. Another thing to consider is Toyotas are so easy to work on. You're literally going to chuck your oil here. You're going to fill it here. Take 0.16 weight oil. It even says that. Well, it used to say it on the cap, but this one doesn't. I think it says it. Oh, right there. So you can't go wrong. Put a Toyota filter on it. Put some Toyota oil in it, which I believe is Mobil 1. You drain it out, fill it up, nothing to it. So this cover just comes off of here. You remove these little 8mm screws, and then you take that bolt out, let the oil drain, and put it back in and fill it up. Again, this isn't a detailed oil change video, but why wouldn't you want to maintain it when it's so easy to do? And look at how nice everything is in here. Nice and clean, no oil leaks, typical Toyota quality. So easy to service these. Pull the plug, let the oil come out, and then you're just gonna replace that filter. It's right there. Very, very easy to work on. So all you have to do is, like I was saying, take the oil out, dump it out, put no oil in, new lifeblood oil for your car. And one of the best things you can do for your car, and just dump it on in. I like this Toyota funnel. It screws into there so you don't have to worry about your funnel falling out. So that's a nice little tip.